This is a Flying Llama Studios production, internet radio and podcast for an age of nonsense.
And hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, I think we're good. I seem to say this every week because I don't know. It's Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. So yes, my name's Daniel, and joining me as always, it's the creature from the shadows.
That almost sounds like Batman.
The man who steals all your single socks. He comes into your house in the middle of the night and he steals one of each pair of socks you've got. So you always find you've got just single pairs of socks in your house. After a while.
Sock man.
Sock. It's Mark, everyone. Hello again.
Hello.
Yeah, I think those intros are starting to get a bit more and more complicated as every week goes on.
Surreal. Yeah.
Anyway, how have you been? How's life? I see you've got some
Yeah.
wonky LEDs in the background there. For
Yeah,
those of you watching on
the
Twitch.
adhesive on the to stick them to things is rubbish.
Yeah. I do find that with a lot of these things, all these kind of sticky light things, they always, yeah, they are a bit rubbish, aren't they?
They really are. It's like, yeah, you can stick this to your shelves or
For like a week.
behind your TV or
For a week.
you know, around, yeah.
And then
Well,
they
not
fall
even a
off.
week.
Then they fall off. And you're just like, ah! And then you have to get
Yeah.
tape out, and then you got like tape all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah, right. First world problems.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so yeah, it's been an interesting few days for me. I suppose it's of course my birthday. It was my birthday yesterday, technically.
Yep.
Which was alright. I think I had a lot of fun. I mean, you know, the day itself, Wednesday, it was alright. You know, nothing particularly. You know, we got up late, had a bit of breakfast, kind of chilled out a bit, and then probably the biggest thing, I picked up my new car.
Yeah, because you were hoping to get it last weekend, and yeah, for reasons that only BMW could tell you,
Yeah.
that couldn't happen.
Yeah, right. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna, whatever. I'm gonna keep. Oh, whatever. I don't know. I wanted a new car for ages, and I've just been kind of like umming and ahhing about it. I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And I've got a big old car now, and a lot of people are saying to me, "Why do you need a car that big?" And it's like, but it's really comfortable. It's really comfortable. And it's I kind of feel like I'm sort of floating into work on a cloud. It's great.
That seems to be an issue, doesn't it? That to get that kind of comfort, you have to buy a ridiculously sized car.
Well, I don't know. I think it's the thing is with a lot of the smaller cars, is like the newer ones, they've always got super stiff suspension. I find a lot of them, and it's I mean, some of the roads around Blandford are awful. They really are. They'll shake your fillings out. But yeah, this car just kind of glides over all of that, and it's just like, yep, not a problem. So, I don't know. It was a nice present, and I got myself a new drawing tablet as well. So that was the.
Oh yes.
That's the.
Yes.
Nobody cares about my car, but my drawing tablet's pretty cool. I still have to actually use it for anything. It's really fancy.
It's just a second screen at the moment.
Well, no, I mean I've always used it as a second screen for like.
Oh
things.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna start doing some more drawing with it. I mean, these drawing tablets cost so much money. They really do, and this was a relatively unknown cheap Chinese brand. And even still, it was a few £100 for this thing. So I guess we'll see if it's any good or not. I did actually play with it the other day. After we managed to hook it up, and yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. It's got pretty good pressure sensitivity. I can do all sorts of extra things on there I couldn't do on the last one. So yeah, it's a step up. I doubt
Look forward to seeing.
Yeah, I doubt my
whatever
doodles
you
are going to be
create.
getting any better though. Let's be honest. I think the equipment's getting better, but my talents aren't.
Don't don't want to belittle yourself. I mean, people seem to enjoy your drawings,
Whatever.
cartoons. They are good.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a hobby, isn't it? But yeah, no, it was you were down on the weekend, weren't you? We came down here and
yeah.
we had a bit of a garden party, which was quite nice.
Well, as well as a brief visit to Weymouth.
Yeah, very brief. Decided to go down there because we thought, well, where are there going to be fewer tourists on the weekend? And I suggested, let's go to Weymouth. And everyone says, no, it's going to be busy down there. And I just thought, well, maybe, but maybe it'll be less busy than anywhere else. Yeah, no, it was busy.
Yeah, I think we were late enough to avoid the traffic going down there. But obviously everybody else had already crowded down there, so...
Yeah, it was pretty... it was pretty busy along the seafront there. And I think we just kind of... I don't know, we just sort of turned around and went back to the car, and then we ended up coming back. But, I mean, the evening was nice. Like I said, we had a fire pit on the go, so we had a fire, and we had a projector set up against the shed wall there, and we had, like, a barbecue and, you know, one of these fold-out garden tables with some food on it and barbecue on the go. And had a few people come over. It was nice. It was a nice evening. We were out there until about midnight. Must be getting on for midnight. But what I find amazing... Yeah, it was.
Probably.
It was, you know, because we were sat out there and it was a really nice, clear night. It was beautiful. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. You could see all the stars as much as you could with all the light pollution. See the moon and stuff. It was really nice. We just sat out there in the fire with the fire going. It was nice.
Yeah. The only problem with the fire pit is the amount of smoke.
Yeah.
So your clothes are just covered in smoke.
As soon as we got back, we just put all the clothes straight into the washing machine.
Yeah.
And it was like half a thing of Dettol. There we go. All right, they'll take care of that. But yeah, no, it was a nice evening. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and it was good to see you again coming down. But what I was amazed by is that our mutual friend Rachel was actually awake at midnight.
Yes, she was.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. She said that she was mesmerised by the flames from the fire pit.
Yeah. Well, she did seem to enjoy it, just kind of sitting there talking. She was perfectly, you know. I think we were all just sitting there having a few drinks and chatting away into the night. It was nice.
Because I did say to her that I was surprised that she was still awake, and she was like, "I was mesmerised by the flames."
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice evening, like I said. So so that's it. That's another year done, I suppose. I'm 38 now, so we'll see how 38 goes.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the first half of this year has been.
Well, I mean, it's not just been a disaster for me; it's been a disaster for everyone.
Not personally, but for the whole globe, it's been an absolute disaster.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I've sort of lost count now. I've sort of I always have to remind myself. How old am I again? Oh yeah, 38.
I do occasionally.
The older you get,
people ask you how old you are.
And you have to think about it for a second.
What's my next birthday?
It does get a bit like that after a while, doesn't it? So, yeah. But anyway, so there we go. Another birthday done and dusted. And the front of the house, for those of you that have been listening to the last few weeks, is starting to look a little bit more like a house now rather than Swiss cheese. So that's good. So
it's still ongoing?
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Wow.
It's been 3...
I thought they may...
It's nearly 4 weeks now. They've been out there kind of doing all that.
I thought they may have gotten most of it done at the early part of this week, but...
Nope. Still at it.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing is, they only have like maybe 1, maybe 2 people working on it. And they seem to be taking their time over it, which I'm not complaining about because they're doing a good job, but it just means they're taking forever to do it. I mean, I get it. It's not like we're building the Sistine Chapel here. But still,
yeah, it's not like your house is
like a Roman,
like 10 windows wide,
or some
front.
some Roman sort of temple with mosaics and stuff. It's literally just a, but still, I mean, it's yeah. So they're kind of suggesting that maybe probably beginning of next week now they'll be done. So we've got another week of all the scaffolding on the driveway, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Because
you
my
can't
new
put your new car on. Well, I suppose you can put it on the driveway.
Yeah, I can,
only
but it
when
just,
they're not working.
yeah, I mean I do that anyway, but it just kind of it's a bit of a boat, so it sort of hangs over the end of the driveway a bit, and there's not really an awful lot
Because
I
of
can do
the
that.
scaffolding,
Yeah,
I guess,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. But there's not an awful lot I can do about that. It just is what it is. I mean, as soon as they manage to get all the scaffolding gone, I'll be able to use my driveway normally again, and that'll be good. But yeah. Anyway, so that's about it really for me. I think that's probably. I mean, it was a relatively uninspiring week. I mean, apart from a few highlights which we mentioned.
Yes.
How was the drive back?
Yeah.
I never actually asked in the end.
No, actually, the drive back was good on Sunday evening.
Well, that makes a nice change. I thought
yeah,
it'd be like
'cause when
loads
I
of
was-
tourists trying to get out.
Well, yeah, that's what I was concerned about, because when I drove down on Friday, and of course Friday was hottest day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Was
The
got
hottest
down
day
to
of the year. Yeah. Sorry.
got down to the M27 and saw all the cars going the other way, and it was gridlocked. And then I got to the A31 and it was gridlocked going the other way. So I thought, oh no, it's going to be like that on Sunday. Fortunately, it wasn't.
Yeah. I think you timed
It
it
was
right. I think a lot of people. The thing is, I think a lot of people left quite early on Sunday.
Yeah, because the weather wasn't quite as nice, was
No.
it?
And so I think you pretty much, if you left sort of late on Sunday or late-ish, you probably timed it quite well.
Yeah, I left about 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So what time? You must have gone back quite late then. It's what,
yeah,
a 4
it was
hour
about
drive?
10:30.
Yeah.
No, it's 2.5.
Two and a
2.5
half.
hours.
Well, that's not awful, is it? I suppose.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so yeah, it was a pretty good drive. Yeah, kind of get going that late. You're usually okay anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Steve and I are looking at maybe going away on holiday at some point, which
Yeah.
I'd quite like to do. But the thing is, with all the airlines and everything else going on at the moment, and you don't know if your holiday destination is going to end up being added to a list. That means you have to quarantine when you get back.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't really want to risk it at the
Yeah.
moment.
But the thing is, like a lot of employers, they're kind of having to. Okay, so if you book your holiday, and then, like a few days before, if you then find out that it's been added to a list whereby you have to quarantine for 14 days, you can take the time. You don't have to use your holiday
Yeah, it
to
doesn't
make up
come
for
out
it.
of your holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go to somewhere where you know you're gonna have to quarantine, that's gonna have to come out of your yearly entitlement.
Yeah.
So there's all these kind of weird arrangements being made in workplaces, I think. So it's kind of one of those.
However, now that businesses have realised that people can work from home a lot more than they did, that quarantine period doesn't necessarily matter so much.
Yeah, I think it depends on the sort of job you do.
Of course, it does
Yeah,
depend on that, but
Yeah. I mean, if you're a mechanic or whatever, you can't be a mechanic from home.
well,
Via Zoom, can you?
could.
Unless you get some weird robot arms or something, some one of these telepresence robots, and you're just kind of crashing around
you
the
could.
workshop.
If you've got a driveway and a garage, you could do it from home, I guess.
Anyway, so yeah, that pretty much is all the news for us, I think.
News. Well,
And
yeah, it's our stuff.
our stuff, yeah. And yeah, we are, we do try and be more of an entertainment-focused TV, movies, sort of focused podcast. So with that in mind, we've got a few bits to talk about this week. And I mean, normally before we get into all that, we normally do our movie of the week. And
Well,
yeah, this week I was just so
Well-
distracted by other things, being my birthday and all the rest of it and stuff like that. I just completely forgot. So we ended up watching Lower Decks, which was good, and we'll talk about that later on.
yeah. See, I watched this movie the movie this week.
What was it? I
Which-
completely.
Should have been, well, it was Ponyo.
I seem to remember it. I mean, that was a fish one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember enough of it to be able to talk about it with any kind of authority.
Watch it for next week then.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I vaguely
probably-
remember it, but yeah.
I actually enjoyed it, but yeah, let's talk about it next week. So
Yeah, okay.
when we can discuss it evenly.
So, that being said, what we got in the way of news then for this week?
Let's start off with going back to the 90s, shall we?
Back to the 90s. Oh God, the other day, I was in a restaurant. Stand by for another one of Lorsian's weird stories. Yeah, I was in a restaurant. I think it was on Pool High Street, one of these pubs. I forget what it's called now. Anyway, and we ordered burgers, and they turned the TV up on the wall, and it had 90s music on there, 90s music videos. I forget what the channel was called. Wow. The 90s haven't aged well at all.
or something like that.
Something like that, but it was all like stuff from the 90s. Like all these, douchebags with all their bleached blonde spiky hair and their 90s shades and stuff.
Sounds like the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, pretty much. Stuff like
Or
that.
NSYNC.
Yeah, and then the Men in Black thing came out. Do you remember all that really annoying Men in Black
yeah,
song?
Will Smith, yeah.
Here come the Men in Black. I'm just like, that has not aged well. That really has not aged well. And I don't know. It was kind of interesting. It kind of reminds you of your youth, doesn't it? Or at least it did me.
Yeah, with a lot of those, what doesn't help is the fact that obviously they recorded in much lower resolution than we have on just a standard TV show these days, or even an advert on TV,
Yeah.
or Twitch, YouTube, whatever. They have much higher quality than stuff on TV in the 90s. And of course the aspect ratio is completely different as well.
Yeah.
Before you even get down to the terrible hairstyles, the terrible fashion.
Yeah. And the awful life choices. I don't know. It was just so cheesy. It was really bad. I was just kind of eating my hamburger, just kind of mesmerized, looking at the TV, just kind of munching away with my eyes sort of glued to this thing, and I'm just like, the 90s were awful.
It's like, oh my goodness, I lived through that.
Yeah. Well,
but then we are living through 2020, so.
Yeah, I just kind of sat there, honestly, just kind of munching away on my hamburger with both eyes just kind of glued to the TV, just in sort of disbelief. But I was too hungry to not eat the burger at the same time.
Yeah. Really, the 90s weren't all bad.
I mean, no, I guess not, but, I mean, Spice Girls, because they were on there as well, and I was just like, oh, it's so unfortunate.
Well, when you're adolescent in the 90s and the Spice Girls come around, that's quite nice.
Yeah. But it's,
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah. The 90s were a time that happened.
Yes. But you've kind of derailed the conversation.
Yeah, sorry. So you said...
So when I said let's go back to the 90s.
Yeah, okay.
As you mentioned this as well before we came on, or we started recording, and I'd seen it as well. We remember from the 90s a cartoon named Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, yes.
Which also I think it was also done by the same people that did Rocko's Modern Life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also from the 90s. So, yeah, Ren and Stimpy is having a reboot, apparently.
Okay.
Which...
yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that, because obviously the comedy was very much of the 90s, so...
It was. And it was... the thing is I think they've left it too long to reboot it. Honestly.
Because...
I think what you'll have now is you'll have a whole bunch of adults who probably want to watch this out of a feeling of nostalgia. And then they'll probably realize that it was awful and that it doesn't appeal to them anymore. And you've got a whole bunch of kids that aren't probably going to watch it anyway because they don't know what Ren and Stimpy is. So I'm not entirely sure at who this is aimed at, if I'm honest.
Well, people like us, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but the thing is, the nostalgia factor only goes so far.
Well,
You know, I
they
suspect
did
there'll be. I mean, it's like most people that like us, they'll want to watch Ren and Stimpy. Will remember it from our youths. But the thing is, we won't appreciate that humor now that we're all adults. We all would have grown up. We will, you know, we won't appreciate that same kind of silly humor that we appreciated when we were kids. So what are they going to do? They're not, and then it's not going to. They have to change it so that it appeals to an adult audience, and then it's different, and then people won't like it because it's different. And I don't know who it's aimed at. I don't get it.
Well, because they did the movie for Rocko's Modern Life. Was it last year or early this year? And that, yes, it did have. It was definitely Rocko's Modern Life, but because it's 25 years later or whatever it is, whenever Rocko's Modern Life finished, it just, for someone my age, it just didn't feel the same.
Exactly, and that's what I'm thinking is going to be the case with this. I really don't get who it's aimed at. And I don't know what they're trying to do. I mean, maybe if they rebooted it and they had it on for kids again, then, I mean, maybe, but I don't think... I mean, kids don't watch TV anymore. They're all watching Twitch, aren't they? And they're playing Fortnite. I mean, they're not interested in TV.
Well, they
it's
still
not the
watch
90s
streaming
anymore.
services, don't they?
Yeah, but they're not really going to be interested, I don't think. It's a different thing now. It's not like... We didn't have as much in the way of entertainment choice when we were kids. We watched TV because that was probably about it.
Yeah.
And we watched stuff that we wouldn't normally watch because, well, there's nothing else to watch. Well, let's see what this is, if any good. And we watched it probably out of boredom, of lack of anything else to do.
Well, the thing with Ren and Stimpy was the humor was geared toward more mature audience in the first place.
Yeah, it was, but it's a fairly... I mean, it was an immature kind of humor still.
Yes, yeah, it wasn't immature, but it was more mature than a lot of cartoons. So it wouldn't be something that you'd put on Cartoon Network, for instance.
Yeah. I wonder, I mean, maybe if they reboot it, but they kind of make it... They change it so it's a bit more adult-orientated, so it appeals to an older audience, but then it's not going to be the same thing. So, I like I said, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I still don't get how they're going to make this work.
No, I think they are going to pretty much keep it similar to how it was in the 90s. I mean, it's going to be Comedy Central doing it, who obviously have South Park, and they announced earlier in the year that they're rebooting Beavis and Butthead as well. So
bring out all the things.
Yeah,
bring out all. What can we reboot now?
Yeah.
Soon it'll be Johnny Bravo. That's going to make a comeback next.
I'm not sure whether you could reboot that.
Really?
It was so inappropriate. I don't think you could reboot Johnny Bravo.
I don't think it was Was it inappropriate? I hardly remember it, to be fair. I just remember this douchebag.
He was so misogynistic.
Hey, baby. Yeah, okay, he was, I suppose. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just couldn't get away with that.
Isn't that interesting?
It's just a...
It was a product of its time. Yeah, it was a product of its times.
Yeah. Well, and modern times.
So yeah, anyway, Ren and Stimpy, that's the thing, is coming back, and we're not sure who it's aimed at. We don't know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it'll probably be more aimed towards adults, I imagine.
I guess we'll
but
see.
The
thing is, they obviously would have had these conversations.
Yeah.
They would have sat there. They would have figured all this out. And obviously they think there's a market for it or there's an interest in it. Otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. Let's be honest. It's not like... So, yeah, I'm sure they know which audience they're going after. And I don't know if it's going to be us or kids or whomever.
Probably, possibly 20-somethings. You know, the college kids.
Yeah,
kids.
but... yeah... You know, they won't be interested in that. They'll be watching stuff on Twitch, won't they? Or YouTube.
Yeah. or Hulu or Netflix or Amazon or one of the various streaming services that's available.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else was going on then?
Right, what else? So apparently Disney are going to be doing yet another live action remake.
Oh no!
This time,
Oh no!
you say oh no, but
no!
they've had quite a lot of success with their previous entries into the live action remakes.
Okay, I haven't watched any of them, by the way. I need to kind of preface that. I haven't seen any of these.
Yeah, they're good. They're not as good as the originals.
No.
But they're good. So this time they're remaking Pinocchio.
Oh, no.
And apparently they're eyeing Tom Hanks to play Geppetto.
Yeah, okay.
Which I'm okay with. Tom Hanks is a really good actor.
Yeah, I suppose he is a bit.
I don't know. Pinocchio.
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's like I guess. Yeah. I know exactly why Disney are doing this, right? It's to make it presentable to a modern audience. Because obviously the people that watched it our age growing up or whatever, watching it now, it probably hasn't aged as well, and so hopefully redoing it and remaking it for a modern audience would,
Thing is,
which is fine.
You say that it hasn't aged well. Yes, it hasn't aged well, but it came out in the cinema in 1940.
Yeah.
So, saying it hasn't aged well since 1940.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently it was it was Disney's second animated feature film.
The thing is, back then they had all the artists. They had hundreds of them toiling away making these things for years. Whereas now it's all CGI and stuff. I don't know. If they'll be able to recapture the same magic, I mean, maybe, but I don't. We'll see. I mean, it's.
That is the thing with a lot of these animated movies. There is a certain kind of, as you say, magic, or virtual magic is to them. That I'm not sure whether they can recapture. I mean, I've seen a few of the live action movies that they've made. Lion King, technically an extremely good movie, but compared with the original animated, compared with the original animated movie, it was all right. Same with Aladdin. Technically, good movie. Compared with the original, no way.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see, won't we? I mean, I won't, because I won't watch any of these. But then they're not aimed at me, are they? They're aimed at kids. And I really just hope they don't have some stupid song in them to try and sell, like, merchandise, so they appeal to all the young girls or whatever.
Well, I mean, it has got
Frozen.
songs in. Yeah. It did have songs in the original, so presumably they'll do some take on those, just like they have with the other live action.
And then they'll do all the merchandise.
Yeah, I say live action because in inverted commas, because Lion King wasn't actually live action, even though you look at it and you could believe it was. And
then you have all the Jiminy Crickets. They'll be selling that. That'll be the must-have for Christmas. All the Jiminy Crickets.
Yeah, have a Jiminy Cricket plushie.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, it's not against that. I mean, Jiminy Cricket's a good character.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish they'd do something a bit, I don't know, new,
original. Yeah,
but yeah, whatever.
But they don't have to, which is why they buy other studios and IPs from other companies. I mean,
yeah, that's it. You don't, yeah. They've recently started back catalog. Yeah, they've recently started reopening Disneylands again, haven't they? All their theme parks and stuff.
Yeah, to a certain, well, sort of soft opening because there's only certain rides I think that have opened, and some rides apparently aren't ever opening ever again. So,
Why not?
some weren't popular enough,
Right. Okay. So there were
so they've
financial
just decided
reasons,
to
right?
shelve
Okay.
them.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's one that I think has links to sort of like deep south racism.
Okay.
So they're getting rid of that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe I've missed out because I've never been to Disneyland. But
I've
then
been to
on one
Euro
hand,
Disney or
yeah,
Disneyland Paris or whatever they want to call it these days.
yeah. I mean, I've never been, and I don't know. I don't know if I've missed out or not. I don't think I have because I'm not really a massive fan of crowds or theme parks. So
I mean, having been to Disneyland Paris, it's worth visiting. Unfortunately, when I visited, I had a horrible cold, and it was the end of October.
probably not the best time.
However, it did mean that it was during Halloween, and they obviously had their Halloween parade, which was quite cool.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But I guess don't have anything else to say really.
Yeah,
A new Pinocchio.
yeah. Well, wait and see what that's like.
Well, I mean, I won't see it. Obviously, it'll be. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear about it from all the
Probably.
12-year-old girls everywhere.
You know a lot of 12-year-old girls, do you?
No, but you know what I mean. It's like anyone that's got like girls around this, they're always singing all the songs and dressing up and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think they'd be 12.
I think we will-
they're
I think
probably
we
a bit
w- yeah.
younger than 12.
Yeah, okay. So we'll know about it, but it'll be like proxy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, friends that have got daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of Pinocchio. It's all they
Yeah.
sing all the time. They want all the Pinocchio stuff now for Christmas. And then there'll be everyone's going to go running out and there'll be no Jiminy Cricket things.
Hmm.
And then you'll
Speaking
have
of,
people fighting in the supermarkets for the Jiminy Cricket plushies.
What's the point when you can order them online?
Yeah, but you know what people are like.
They're just ordering stuff online, which is why the high street is dead again.
Well, maybe that's the yeah, maybe. Who knows? Anyway.
Actually, is segue from that is also a Disney-related thing.
Okay.
Which was announced, I think, a couple of days ago, actually, that Disney have decided that their live-action, again, remake of Mulan is not going to be coming to cinema screens, but heading straight to streaming on Disney Plus in September.
Well, that's probably not a bad thing.
And this has annoyed
People.
cinemas in the UK in particular, because obviously they're trying to get back on their feet, and now they've pulled this release, which would have been a big release for the cinemas.
Yeah. But we said this would happen weeks ago, didn't we, on the show? We said this is
Yeah,
exactly what would happen.
Disney
I mean, they're
have said that
testing
this
the
is
water, aren't they, at this point?
Well, Disney have said that this is a one-off,
Right, okay.
but as you say, they could be testing the water because obviously a lot of people have been waiting for the new Black Widow movie, which has been pushed back multiple times. So there has been speculation around that coming out on streaming or video on demand, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, Disney have said, yeah, that's definitely not going to streaming. That's going.
The thing is like, you know, and I know that if it ends up becoming super popular and they end up making the same sort of money that they would expect from cinema releases, they're just going to not
this
bother
is
because
the
they don't want to
thing,
pay the
it's-
fees to the cinemas. This is all about money. They're just going to go, sorry guys, you're not competitive anymore in the 21st century. Goodbye. And that'll be that.
Yeah, yeah, because one of the caveats with it going on to Disney Plus is that it's not going to be part of a Disney Plus subscription. You'll have to pay to actually watch it,
Yeah.
like you would going to the cinema.
Hmm.
I don't know how much it'll cost in the UK, but I know in America they're going to charge $30. So it does seem very, very steep.
Well, that's probably what you'd pay to go see if you brought your family to go watch it in the cinema. That's probably what you'd end up paying
This
anyway.
is very true, but I don't know how much a movie theatre ticket is in America. So
I mean, because they're
I've got nothing
probably,
to base that against.
anticipating there's probably, whole family people watching it. So, £30 is probably about right, I would have thought. I mean,
possibly.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah. As I say, that's annoying cinemas, and I suppose rightly so. I mean, we've already gone over it multiple times. The fact that we don't particularly like cinemas anyway, but
Yeah.
there's still plenty of people that do.
Yeah,
So-
no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at the moment we're seeing a lot of resurgence in all these drive-in cinemas. I mean, I'm seeing them in the Echo every other week. It's like, new drive-in cinema open today, and you have all these people just just saying, watch your movies from the safety of your car and all this kind of stuff. And so, I mean, that's a new thing. And I wonder if that's
Right.
gonna. I mean, soon then we're gonna need all the people on roller skates, kind of bringing food to the cars, or whatever, on those trays they used to kind of hook onto the open windows of cars, like it was in the 60s or whatever.
Oh, I don't think it was much of a thing here in the 60s.
It probably will be now. There's going to be a massive
yeah.
revival of people just sitting in their cars, or whatever. And you have all these people kind of skating around, sort of delivering hot, sort of fast food to cars while they
Mhm.
watch movies and drive-in cinemas.
Possibly, yeah.
Is it a bad thing? I don't know.
Don't know. Probably wouldn't work if it was tipping it down the drain.
No.
I mean, I know you're sat in your car where hopefully you've got a roof, but
With the windscreen wipers going.
yeah, windscreen wipers on, yeah,
And the sound of all the rain coming down on the car. Yeah, that's
and
probably...
probably the windows open so that you can hear the speakers properly. But then you've also got the rain noise
Coming in.
yeah,
coming down in sheets or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
But it was one of those.
can't-
They kind of had the the audio was always broadcast on FM, so you had to tune in your car to a specific frequency.
Okay,
Didn't you
but you
realize?
can't do that now.
Well, that's what they did in the 60s. I mean, that's how it
Well, I
worked.
suppose you could do FM.
Yeah, if it's a small enough transmission,
Yeah.
they could get away with it.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that now.
Tune
actually,
your
'cause most people
radios
still got-
to that's how it worked.
I mean, 'cause, yeah. Huh.
You never
Yeah,
realized
no, I
that.
never realised that. No.
Well, you just thought they just had speakers. Okay, fair enough.
Well, why not?
I don't know, because it would be ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what they did in the 60s, and I can see that making a revival to a point. And am I against it? No, not really. I just think that it's a bit silly when you could just watch it at home.
Yeah. But then that's the same with going to the cinema.
But the thing is, if you
It's
go out,
really-
the thing is that the whole thing about it was that you could go out and you could have a meal, and you could watch the movie at the same time, and you didn't have to do the
Which-
cooking. That whole little bundle of things can make a semi-compelling argument.
Which is kind of what the cinema experience is supposed to be. You go for a meal beforehand and then go to the cinema. But it means that just going to watch one movie and having a meal in the evening turns into breaking the bank,
Yeah.
especially if there's a whole family going.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, if they do it right, I mean, like I could see maybe drive-in cinemas sort of working, but again, it's a very
Yeah.
who knows if it's going to be successful. The thing is, I'd read an article where Mr. Kipps, who's a fairly famous guy down here, he's been running a music venue for years. I'm sure most people have heard of Mr. Kipps. He's organizing a drive-in concert music festival. And
didn't I hear something about the old Mr. Kip's venue? They were thinking of turning it all into housing.
oh yeah, that was ages ago. That's all gone. Anyway, they've moved years ago.
Where I don't know where they've moved to. So
Anyway, so
yeah.
where was I? Yeah, so he's thinking about starting up a drive-in music festival, and he needs to sell 250 cars. And a whole bunch of artists and stuff in the lineup and stuff. But again, it's not a cheap evening. That's the only downside. But then it's pretty much an all-night thing, and there's loads of bands and stuff. I mean, they kind of push the boat out a bit. But I just wonder if that's going to be a thing. I mean, because you can't dance, you can't really drink when you're driving. Well, at least a driver can't.
No.
You know, and you can't, it's not the same sort of thing, is it? But
No.
I mean, I do like the fact that a lot of venues and people like this are kind of thinking of sort of new and innovative ways to kind of
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't see that one working.
No, I don't see it being all that popular. You'd have to do it in a field far enough away from built-up areas, presumably, because obviously open air. People aren't going to want to have all that music all day, however long it is, are they?
Yeah.
So it's got to be fairly remote.
And that's it. And if you're sat there in your car all day, and if it's hot, you have the air conditioning on. So then you got all these cars just kind of sat there with their engines idling, with the aircon on, with a whole bunch of people just... Especially if you're sitting in the back, you can't really see the front through the windshield, can you?
No.
Because with all the
especially you could put
two
the seats
in
down,
front.
I guess.
But what happens if? What about the people sitting in the front? That's the thing. So you have to peek through the middle.
Oh,
pit.
I was assuming there was only like.
No. I mean, assuming there's
passenger,
there's So the driver and 3 passengers, 1 in the front, 2 in the back. So you got basically the 2 in the back are going to be.
Yeah, not good.
So then people are going to get out their cars so they can see the stage properly, and then they'll be like, "Get back in your car, social distancing." And then they have to get back in the car and they can't see the screen, the stage properly. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Who knows? Maybe they thought about all this. Maybe it's all on an incline or something, so people can. I don't know. Who knows?
Yes, and then we just get torrential downpours, and because it's on an incline, you get a mudslide, and all the cars slide down.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, what else? We've got about 15 minutes left, so I was hoping we could spend the last 10 minutes talking about Lower Decks. So we've got...
So apparently, this is another animated thing, actually. Apparently, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are in talks to develop some new South Park movies / TV specials.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
The last movie came out in '99.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly, it was. I mean,
of its time.
It was of its time. When we were that age, we thought it was brilliant.
That's because we were stupid. That's because we were stupid kids.
Well, we weren't teenagers.
Yeah.
Late teens. But South Park has evolved a lot since then.
Yeah, it has. It's a lot. It does a lot more social commentary now, doesn't it? I mean, it's always done social commentary, but it's a little bit more mature in how it approaches it, I think.
Yeah, and it has its arc throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there is not much information about it. Just the fact that they're in talks to make some new. It does specifically say movies is in plural, so whether that'll be straight up South Park movies or whether they'll do some sort of spin-off of, I don't know, Officer Bar Brady or something.
Officer Bar Brady, a day in the life of Officer Brady.
Nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Well, they could do a
Kenny.
Lemmy Winks.
Yeah, okay.
Big spin-off.
Who knows? Who knows? But I don't know. I mean, I've got a lot of time for South Park. I do have a lot of time for South Park. I've always appreciated a lot of the social commentary that they've done. And they are pretty clever in how they approach a lot of these topics. I do. Yeah, I've got a lot of time for South Park, and I think it's yeah.
Yeah, I've always liked the fact that they do offend groups, but they don't offend any one particular group or people, or they're offensive to everybody throughout the world, and I think that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah,
really.
I think it's
going after specific groups is just wrong.
But it's less going after a specific. It's more just social commentary and the idiocy of a lot of societal norms. I think. Yes. I think it's poking fun at the common zeitgeist rather than specific groups of individual specifically. How's that for eloquence?
Yes, and the way they go about it is better than things like Family Guy, definitely. Because Family Guy just tends to be quite crude.
Yeah, sometimes it can be. Actually, most of the time it is.
Yeah. So possibly some new movies. I wonder whether the movies that they make will be cinema releases.
I doubt it, honestly. I don't see that.
But then what differentiates a movie from a TV special?
Its length, I suppose.
But then a TV special tends to be longer than a standard episode, so...
Yeah, I think... I think it's... I mean, a movie's meant to be something special, isn't it? It's a brand new...
But then TV special.
Yeah. This is why I'm saying it probably won't be a movie. At least I doubt it'll be a movie. Like a cinema release movie. It'll probably be a movie because there'll probably be, the way it's laid out, the story, the length, and all this kind of stuff.
So maybe what they'll do is they'll do some movies that are like 2 hours long and then some TV specials that are an hour, possibly.
Yeah.
Because, most episodes are only, the time you've got the adverts in, they're supposed to be about half an hour, but they only work out about 20 minutes, don't they?
Something like that, yeah.
So, yeah. Maybe that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
We'll see. Something to look forward to, possibly.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic about it. I mean, it's South Park. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, it's the same thing with The Simpsons. It's like everyone's sort of forgotten about The Simpsons, but it's still there in the background. And I think...
I still enjoy watching it.
The thing is, I don't think they're anywhere near as funny as they used to be. But mind you, I never really think they were particularly all that funny. I think they had a few things that they were known for, like all the quips that Bart used to come out with and things like that. But I don't think they were ever laugh out loud funny.
There's definitely some episodes way back in, again, the 90s that were definitely funnier than most of the stuff that's out now.
Yeah. But I think that might be them just playing it safe, not wanting to offend people or anything else. And I don't know if maybe the... Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's as good as it used to be, or maybe I'm just getting older, or maybe my... I
don't know, I still watch it, and there are occasions where I do actually laugh. Most of the time it's just a slight chuckle. But...
yeah. But it's hardly like laugh out loud funny. But what I do appreciate about The Simpsons is the fact that they tend to predict things that most people would never have guessed.
Yes, like
Trump.
Like even Trump, coronavirus.
Yeah, they're way ahead.
They predicted coronavirus.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have no idea how they've done it, but they've been really accurate with their predictions of what's going to happen, and which is why whenever I watch a Simpsons episode now and I think. And they come up with something silly like this, I'm just thinking now to myself, uh-oh.
Yeah. It's like the writers get their crystal ball out and they're like,
yeah.
I can foresee this happening.
It's like mutant plants or something sort of taking over the world. I honestly, at this point, I wouldn't put it past the universe.
I mean, the amount of episodes with Kodos and Kang.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time, right?
Yeah. That's really scary. Probably be hovering outside my house right about now. Humans. Silly humans.
Yep.
Anyway, so I think that is about it for the news then this week.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was something about a Red Dwarf
Oh yes, let's mention that.
documentary coming to Dave. Well, at time of recording, it will probably actually be on. So it's Thursdays on Dave. 3-episode sort of behind the scenes documentary.
Thing is, I don't have Freeview, so
you'll be able, you can watch it on. Well, I assume you'll be able to watch it on their
Dave
UK
on
TV
demand
Play.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, UK TV Play.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, you need an account, but yeah, you'll be able to watch it.
Yeah, that's weird.
So,
that's quite cool.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Red Dwarf and want to see a bit more of its about its history,
because they've been knocking it out of the park recently, haven't they?
Apparently.
I
haven't watched it for a while.
This is it. It's one of those things that I keep forgetting to watch, and every single time somebody brings it up in conversation, I'm thinking to myself, I still haven't watched that yet, and I need to get around to it.
It's because it's on TV.
That's it. It's not. I'd need to log into my PC. I'd need to go to the website. I need to create an account, and then I need to sit there. With all the ads, probably. And I'm just
if you watch it on UK TV Play, you're definitely going to have ads.
And I'm just like, I can't be bothered with the ads.
Yeah.
Buy Febreze air freshener.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever product it is they're trying to hawk, and it's never ending. Other air fresheners are available.
And at a cheaper price.
Yeah. Anyway, so it is a bit like that, isn't it? It's if I'm gonna watch it, I'd like to actually just watch it without all the ads and the interruptions. So I wonder if they're gonna release it in any other format.
I don't know, because
people don't buy Blu-rays anymore, do they? They don't.
Well, there are a few people that still buy even DVDs for some reason. I mean, I know someone that buys Blu-rays and doesn't have Netflix or Amazon or any other streaming service, and the rest of us in our friends group where I live at the moment just think he's a bit crazy about that.
Yeah. I mean,
he's younger than us. So.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand to a point. I do kind of get it, because it's like if you buy this stuff, you kind of own it. You can watch as much as you want without having to pay a recurring subscription.
Yeah, that's true, but the amount of things that you miss as well.
And also, I think the amount of money that you have to pay a lot more for that than you do for the streaming services as well.
Yeah.
If you think
about
it.
For that privilege, yeah.
But I don't think he's crazy. It just means that he's not going to get to everything as soon as everybody else.
Or ever.
Or ever. In some instances, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're almost out of time, but we've got just about enough time to talk about our... It's not really movie of the week, was it? We watched an episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. Which we managed to get hold of. And it was alright. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's a silly sort of adult cartoon. And it was quite fun. I mean, the intro really made me laugh, because I thought that was the funniest intro I've ever seen, especially where they had that giant space monster just kind of eating the nacelle.
Fucking on the nacelle, yeah.
Because to me, it just kind of seemed like they're trying to set it up so there's just this incompetent crew that were just sort of staggering from one disaster to another, and more outlandish, out of control situations that nobody can deal with.
It's not quite like that. I mean, there is an element of that, but it's not quite like that.
I mean, I think that's what they're trying to go for. It's like this completely incompetent crew that are just kind of, all these ridiculous situations that nobody can plan for or deal with.
Yeah, I think they nailed the whole sort of workplace comedy set in a Star Trek universe thing. Because they were setting out to essentially show what it's like to work on a starship below decks.
Yeah.
not be on the bridge all the time.
But a lot
And
of
I
people.
think even with the first episode, they actually managed to do that.
I mean, I'm not too fond about the characters, to be honest with you. I find it's a bit kind of. I don't know. I mean, they're okay. I don't mind them. I think the cat doctor is probably going to be one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, but then it's whatever gender, if it's gender,
Whatever.
any kind of gender, I don't know whether it is a gender. It's a cat person.
Yeah. Who's the doctor?
Whether the doctor is going to be in it a lot, because obviously doctors are higher ranked, and this is supposed to be showing the ensigns.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It was alright. I mean, the thing that I found about it was I mean, a lot of the humor was just, I don't know. It was just a bunch of people. I mean, I liked it for what it was. I didn't understand why people were so negative about it. Yeah, everywhere. No. I honestly don't get that. I think it's just a bunch of people that are just echoing. It's like the internet's just like a giant echo chamber half the time. It's like some influencers, and I say that in the loosest possible sense of the term, say, Star Trek's Lower Decks is terrible, and everyone's like, oh, it's terrible, Star Trek's terrible, and then and then everyone's like, and it's just, watch it for yourself and make up your own minds.
And it's like all these people that go, oh, it's Star Trek in name only. Well, no, it's produced by the company that owns the rights to Star Trek, and they've said it's Star Trek, so it is Star Trek.
Yeah. But it's one of these things where people just take stuff they take stuff way too seriously. They really do. And I just think, look, it's just a bit of fun. Just chill out. Just watch it. You either like it or you don't. If you don't like it, it's not the end of the world. There'll be other stuff to watch. You don't have to get upset about it. Just, if you enjoy it, then you enjoy it. Great. Awesome. But if you don't have to get angry about it on the internet and write rage posts on forums going, the new Star Trek Lower Decks is a catastrophe. It's a personal insult. I am insulted. I am personally insulted by this new Star Trek. Blah, 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 blah. And I just think, get a life.
It's like, seriously?
Just get a life.
At times, it did feel like it was part of the next gen. In some ways.
Yeah, it did. It was all right. I mean, like I said, we'll see where it goes. We'll see. I mean, I really hope they managed to sort, because there were times when it was actually funny and times where it was like meh. I hope they managed to sort out.
Yeah, I think
some of the pacing.
It's probably suffering from the similar thing to the Orville season 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was kind of finding its feet.
Yeah, they're not quite sure of the direction they want to take it in with the how much comedy they want to try and either inject in or force in, how seriously they want to be, which, as I say, the Orville suffered from a lot in season 1, and then season 2 it just turned it around, and it was like watching Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see how that one works out, but I don't know. I'm fairly and apparently there are going to be some cameos / guest appearances from characters that possibly from Next Gen, Voyager, and DS9. So any of those 3 shows, there could be characters popping up now and then. Well, that's pretty cool.
So we'll get to see what some of those characters are up to after Nemesis.
I mean, all I have to say is that if people are complaining about Star Trek Lower Decks, I would just say to those people, watch the original animated series. and then see if you have something to complain about.
And then go and watch Star Trek Prodigy, which isn't out till next year.
Yeah.
And it's only for kids. Well, it's meant for kids.
Yeah. So there we go. That pretty much wraps it up for this week. So all that's really left to be said is thank you very much indeed for listening. I'm sorry I spent so much at the beginning of the show talking about my birthday, because I'm sure that was thrilling to a lot of people listening to this show. But
it's intro, isn't it?
But yeah, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show, and hopefully we've touched on topics that you found interesting. Feel free to email us if you'd like to get in touch. Your comments and criticisms and flattery and anything else you want to send us in email form to mail@flyinglamastudios.net is the email address. We'd love to hear from you as always. So from the both of us, have a fantastic weekend. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a scorcher, apparently.
Yeah, I'm going to hide indoors. I've got a portable air conditioner, and I'm just going to be hugging that all weekend. I'm just going to be like right next to it with just hugging the air conditioner for dear life.
Yeah, I don't have to put up with tourists or grockles.
Yeah, it is going to be one of those this weekend. It's going to be we are pretty much just going to be housebound, sitting around the air conditioner going, "Is it over yet?" Anyway, take care. See you later. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.